Hello and welcome to episode 7 of my ARK Survival Evolved series. This episode is going to be on taming our first dodo, our first creature in fact, which is going to be a dodo. Well, we killed a dodo in the last episode, so in this episode I thought it would be a good idea to tame one and a good introduction on how taming works in ARK. It will be a battle of the wills, as in will the dodo outsmart me? Probably, but I, the legendary gamester, have a cunning plan, and it is called narco berries. So let's find, well, we have a dodo. I was going to say let's find one, but I found one already in preparation, and let's make it our friend. You will not only see how long it takes to tame a dodo, but also exactly how many narco berries, normal berries, it will take to succeed. I have, for the dodo, because it's only a tiny creature, I have set the taming speed of dinosaurs back to the default of 1, so you can see an accurate depiction of the taming process. On the subject of taming creatures, there are carnivores and herbivores in the world of ARK, as you know. To tame a creature, you must first have enough food that it likes to keep it fed while you're taming it. For carnivores, this is raw meat at the beginning of the game, and for herbivores, we will use berries. That's the food, but we will also need a way to keep it unconscious. For that, we will use narco berries. Now, because this is a small creature, I will just use my fists to knock it out to demonstrate using your fists. But as we get to bigger prey, you will see this changes. I will show you how to learn the engram sling. So we will be using a sling from after this dinosaur. So to tame a creature in ARK, you first have to knock it out. Once it's knocked out, then you put berries into its pocket. Berries to feed it if it's a herbivore, or raw meat to feed it if it's a carnivore. Then we will also be using narco berries to keep it knocked out. Anyway, enough of the waffle, let's show you. So with this dodo, I'm going to start punching it. The lower level the creature, the easier it is to get. Notice I succeeded because not only is it fallen asleep on the ground and you can see it breathing, but you can see if I press the E key, I can now access its inventory. Now to go over taming, first of all, here's the food for it. That's going down. So you need to give it berries if it's a herbivore. Now the food will go back up. Also notice, more importantly, torpor. If that gets to 0, the creature will wake up, we'll have to start again. So what we do, I'm going to drop some narco berries in there. You select the narco berries. Now notice what happens to the torpor when I select the narco berries and left click remote use. Notice the torpor is going back up. You have to keep the torpor above 0. Now some people say that if it gets below 50% there's a chance it will wake up, but I've tamed loads of dinosaurs and I've never had one wake up on me, not even the T-Rex. But anyway, I died with that, but that's another story. For now, just know this. Every time the food goes down to a certain extent, so if we watch this, it gets down and down to 470, it will then eat another piece of food. When it eats a piece of food, your taming will go up. So if I just quickly give it some more narco, get that back up to 40. We will be using better narcotics, but for now at the beginning, I'm just showing you using narco berries. Right, okay, now notice the taming bar. It's nearly on T. When the creature lifts its head up like that, it eats. When it eats, the taming bar will then go up. The taming bar that you see going across the bottom there, see it just went up then. That was because the dodo just ate a berry. That is why you need to have food on it. If you don't have food, it won't eat. If it doesn't eat, your taming won't progress. So, in conclusion, going back in, make sure you keep plenty of food on the creature you are taming. If it's a carnivore, make sure you keep plenty of meat. If it's a herbivore, plenty of berries. Different dinosaurs prefer different foods. Some herbivores will prefer Aimer berries, some herbivores will prefer tinterberries, and some will prefer hazelberries. Whatever the first stack is in the inventory is the chosen berries that the dinosaur will eat. Notice that the narco berries we just use for keeping it tamed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how low I can let the topor get before redoing it. And we can watch that through the unconscious purple bar. See, now most people say don't let it get below 50%, but the gamester says I laugh in the face of that. Now you watch how close I let it get to the bottom. Because it's going down very quickly, I'm probably going to need to eat use one more narco berry on it, because the bar is not enough. So, oops, let's quickly do that. Get it back up. In fact, I'll get it to a safe 20. That should do. Let's check. Okay, so again, let's watch. I'm purposely letting it stay under 50%. For the unconscious level. And as you can see, it's slowly progressing. Once the taming bar gets to the end, a window will pop up asking me to give this dinosaur a name, because it then will become my pet. The bigger the creature, the more food and topor it will have. So let's do one more. So this says 44, but if it's a huge dinosaur it might say 244, thereby giving you more time to tame it. There you go, I've just successfully tamed the Dodo. Now I can give it a name. I'll call him Brains. Why not? Actually, I'm not sure if the name will reflect the sex, so I'll cancel that, because if I do, let's just show you what I'm talking about. Hovering over it, you'll see it says gender male. You will also see that it has, to the right of it's level 9, to the right of that is an experience arrow pointing up, just like ours. The creatures that you tame will also gain levels along with you over time. So there are many options available to us now that this Dodo is tamed. If we press the E key and hover over it, you will see this radar of different options. Up here we can access its inventory. So by doing that, what we can do is store all of our berries in its inventory. The reason we do this is because if I have this berries in here, notice it spoils in 16 minutes. If I put it in my pocket, notice the timer goes down drastically to only 4 minutes before one of the berries will spoil. So you're always better off storing all your berries on your pet, because they will last much longer. Also, of course, it will take the weight. So this weight, although it's not much and it can only carry a little, as the dinosaurs get bigger that we can tame, they will be useful as pack mules for carrying all of our stuff. But also they will act as a fridge by keeping our food longer for us. So there we are. Notice the dinosaur though does get hungry very slowly. The Dodo eats very slowly, but you do have to keep some food on them. Although I am going to do further testing with each size dinosaur to try and see just how much food. Notice as well how many narco berries we used in the end. For bigger dinosaurs we will use many more narco berries, but thankfully we will be progressing on to a better narcotic than narco berries. So let's have a look. So that's how it can store stuff and carry stuff for us. If we come out of there and just press the E key, notice we can still give it a name. For now I'll leave it just as Dodo. Well, okay, let's give it the name, as I know what sex it is now. I'll just call it Brains. Okay, and yeah, it does still show us the gender. So there we go, that's how you can name your dinosaur. If you press the E key, what you can also do is enable and disable following. So if I click this, it will stop following me and wander around on its own, which I don't want. For the bigger dinosaurs, when you stop them following you, they stand still in the place you leave them. Over here, enable wandering. This is a male dodo. I'm going to tame a female dodo as well, because if I have a male and a female, they will mate together and the female will then lay eggs. The eggs we can use for kibbles. The kibbles are the best way to tame dinosaurs, but that's all in future episodes, and they're going to be good ones, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make kibbles and use kibbles. For now, the very first thing you should do when you tame a herbivore, that is you mainly want to use herbivores as your storage. So I want to set its aggression level to passive. To do that, we have to go twice onto it with the E key, first setting it to neutral, then a second time setting it to passive. It will now not attack any dinosaurs that I attack. So if we now come up here, I'm going to lead him back to my base. Now the trouble is, of course, because he's a dodo, or it might just be because I've given him a lot of weight, so let's just take some weight off of him, because he is moving rather slowly. Let's see if that speeds him up. That might just be the slow walk of the dodo. He does seem quicker now. Bear that in mind. If you overload your dinosaurs, they get slower and slower, and eventually they won't be able to move. So what I'm going to do is lead him back to my base, and this could take actually a long time, which I didn't take into consideration, but I want to show you parking the dinosaurs, because we will get lots of dinosaurs eventually, and so it's good to know how to park. Well, in fact, because it's going to take so long, I will show you here. When I get him back to my base, I will press the E key on him, and then I will just simply left click disable following. Now what he will do, like I say, is just wander around merrily, but I don't want him to stay here, so I'm going to put him back to following so he can follow me back. But that is what I wanted to show you how to do. Right, okay, so that's taming a dodo. This is the first in the food chain. We will get to bigger and bigger dinosaurs. Our tactics will change, the materials we use will change as well, and the tools we use as well. Before I go though, let's just go into my engrams. Okay, for the next dinosaur we're going to be using the sling. So I have learned the sling, so select the slingshot, left click learn engram. When you've done that, in the crafting window you will then see that you can make a slingshot, and you will see it's a much better way for knocking out the dinosaurs, because it allows us to do it from a distance. If we're not standing next to the dinosaur's not harming us while we're trying to knock him out. And also throwing stones is a much more effective way for knocking out the dinosaurs. There are even better ways than that, but we will get to them. Now for the sling, I will save the usage for the next episode, and I will show you how to use it and what's needed to use it. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. I hope you've enjoyed this episode on taming a dodo. Goodbye.